Okay, here's part 4 of the video lecture installment for the stuff on memory. So we're just about through the stuff on memory that I wanted to do in class this week with you guys. Okay, so now there are different types of memory that we could talk about. I'll try to relate this to you guys at your age. We're talking 17, 18 years old. But these memories also take hold and start to have meaning for young children as well. And the first general type of memory that I want to talk to you about are called flashbulb memories. Now, by definition, flashbulb memories, and you'll want to write this down, are memories for meaningful and important things that happen in your life. Okay, again, flashbulb memories are memories for meaningful and important things that happen in your life. Meaningful and important. Those are the important words. In class, I would ask you, how many of you can remember your first day of high school? Most students say that they can remember their first day of high school. If we're dealing with a young child, I may ask him or her, can you remember your first day of school? Maybe kindergarten, first grade. And, a lot of them probably could. That would be a flashbulb memory because it's important and meaningful. For you guys, I might ask you, can you remember your 16th birthday? Maybe you can. Maybe you had a party, a 16th birthday party, and you can remember that pretty well. It's kind of a big deal. You get to do some things when you turn 16, like drive a car, and things of that sort. At some point, a lot of you will probably aspire to be married, and you would probably remember your wedding day as a flashbulb memory. It would be a meaningful day with importance for you. The birth of a child. Some of you will aspire to have children someday. Your 21st birthday, hopefully for all the right reasons, will be a flashbulb memory, meaningful and important. Now the second type of memory, as I'm adjusting my focus here a little bit with this, are autobiographical memories. Now, autobiographical memories can at times be the same thing as flashbulb memories, okay? Now, autobiographical memories, unlike flashbulb memories, are memories for things that happen to your life, but they may or may not be meaningful or important. Okay? Again, autobiographical memories are memories for things that happen in your life or to your life that may or may not be meaningful or important. So, little stupid things that you remember about your life that have no meaning or importance are still autobiographical memories. An autobiography, by definition, is a story of you. It's your story. A lot of times we remember things that are kind of embarrassing. Again, those things may or may not be important. I remember the first time I ever got to dance with a girl, a really attractive girl in junior high school. I was feeling pretty nervous, pretty anxious about it. I danced with her. I got back to the little group of guys I was hanging out with in the gym after I danced with her, and was feeling good about myself, and then realized very quickly that I danced with her with my fly unzipped the entire time. Is that important or meaningful? No, but it's something that happened to me, so it's something that I remember, unfortunately. I also remember the next thing. I was in high school. I was a pretty decent basketball player, but I wasn't quite good enough to make the team. And I was actually the last person cut when I tried out for the high school team, so that kind of stunk, but it's okay. Now we would have a habit of just playing pickup basketball at school during lunch. We could go into the gym, 10, 12, 13 of us would just go 5-on-5, 6-on-6, however many we had, and we would just play for fun. And there was a guy on the basketball team for the high school, who I would often get matched up against, and I would always get the best of him. I would always beat him, and he was getting really mad about it because I wasn't even on the team, and here I was kind of beating him, at his position. So he was talking all kinds of trash, all kinds of junk, and just giving me a hard time. So finally I said, look, we'll meet lunchtime. You and me, just one-on-one. We'll play to 10 by ones. If you win, then you can talk trash all year long. I won't say a word. But if I win, you have to be quiet. You can't say anything else to me for the rest of the year. No more trash talk. So he agreed, and unbeknownst to me, went around and told the entire school. And so when we met to play our little one-on-one game that I thought was just going to be just a real quick, just maybe 5 people standing around watching, half the school's there watching this thing. I'm like, oh, great. So I'm thinking, all right, that's fine. I'll let him get up on me. I let him get up 3-0 on me because I wanted to kind of see what kind of game he had. I wanted to see if he was going to drive, if he was just going to shoot on me the whole time if he was going to post me up. What kind of game did he have, and how was he going to try to beat me? So I figured it out pretty quick. I ended up winning. I ended up beating him 10-3. Had a brief shining moment until I woke up in the boys' locker room about 20 minutes later with two of my friends standing over top of me, explaining to me what happened. He got so mad at me that I beat him in front of half the school, by the way, that he kicked me just as hard as he could in the midsection to the point where I passed out. Yeah, passed out in front of half the school, mostly girls, which made it even worse. So my brief shining moment turned into another moment of embarrassment. Now, is that meaningful or important? Absolutely not. But it is an autobiographical memory because it's something that happened to me. So that's an example of a memory that's autobiographical, but it's not a flashbulb memory because it's not meaningful and it's not super important. The last story I'll tell, and I'll kind of skip to this one. I was 16 years old and got invited to a concert. Bon Jovi and Skid Row were two hard rock groups, hair bands from the 80s. And it was a girl that I was interested in. Told me that she had tickets and we could go. So front row seats, I'm there for her, not really for the music. And she disappears on me. She takes off. I'm standing there by myself. And the lead singer, this guy right here, his name's Sebastian Bach, had a cup of beer in his hand and he drop kicked it and yelled some kind of expletive. And I'm standing here. My date's run off. She's gone. And I'm just standing here alone thinking, okay, that was kind of dumb. And then about 10 seconds later, this thing of beer, this cup of beer hits me on the head that he kicks, that the lead singer drop kicks. So my clothes are soaked in beer. And the cup's on the ground. And this kid thinks it's a souvenir. So he dives for the cup, knocks me down into a pool of vomit that's on the floor right beside me. So now I've got beer and vomit all over my clothes. And I'm rambling about this story. We're thinking, what's the point? Well, it's not meaningful. It's not important. But it's something that happened to me, so I remember it. Autobiographical memory. I remember going home and burning my clothes. I tied them up in a bag, snuck in my parents' house, changed clothes and burned them the next day because I knew they were not going to believe the story that I was about to tell them about what really happened. So, at any rate. Now, the next type of memory I want to talk about are incidental memories. An incidental memory is a memory that you have for something that you make absolutely no effort to remember. I can't remember important things like my daughter's cell phone number or her social security number, but I can remember songs from the 80s that I hated. I remember sports scores from football games 35 years ago. And probably you guys could think, jingles, the Jan Deals Attorney at Law jingle. Everybody knows that. Or Danny Klein, the heavy hitter, his little jingles that you hear on the radio or on television. Those kind of things stick in our heads. Maybe that has to do with the fact that if we're not under any pressure or stress to remember something, it kind of sticks with us. But if it's something important like a question for a test or information for an exam, there's pressure there to remember it. So maybe that's why we get anxiety and we don't really remember that stuff. I remember 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. That's the jingle for the Big Mac. I remember sports scores from the Dallas Cowboys football team from the 1980s and 90s. Why would I need to know that? No idea. I'm not remembering it on purpose. It just kind of happens. Incidental memories for young children, or really any of us, probably have a lot to do with motivation. We tend to remember stuff that we're interested in or motivated to remember. I remember food stuff because I like food. I remember a lot of stuff about music because I'm a music guy. I'm also a big sports enthusiast, so I tend to remember a lot of stuff about sports, like scores and things of that sort. So, and we're going to call that the end of this part. Thank you.